Dear thin people, and more specifically the thin people out there that are more critical of, to use one of your popular terms, fat people. To those of you out there that are thin, like myself, I consider myself a thin person, who wants to just constantly either disparage fat people in the interest of, I'm looking out for your best interests and the sake of humanity and the sake of your life because I care about you and I want to see you live. These overweight people get it. They don't need to hear your veiled sarcasm, your veiled disparaging comments that are cloaked in the cover of, but I care about you, I want to see you continue to live on. But the choices that you make, you need to be told that the choices you make are terrible. These eating choices you make are going to cut your life off years before it has to. Dear thin people that want to just constantly reiterate that point, I just want to let you know that overweight or quote-unquote fat people, they get it. They understand that. Constantly telling them that, saying it in the interest of loving and caring them and wanting them to live for years upon years, they get all that. You don't need to tell them that. You don't need to try to explain to them that fat shaming is something that doesn't exist, because fat shaming does in fact exist. There's a number of people that have taken their own life in the overweight community based on the shaming that they received for their physical self. Because it was too big, because they got ridiculed, because they got shamed. The same way a gay person got shamed and drove themselves to the point of suicide. The same way an ugly person got shamed and driven to the point of suicide, or any number of things that you want to label shame to. Dear thin people, these obvious choices of healthy versus unhealthy is fully understood by overweight people. It's common sense to know that eating yourself into obesity and being obese is not a healthy lifestyle. Telling them that point again and again doesn't help sell the fact. It can drive people into a deeper depression. It can drive them into even worse eating habits. And it can make the problem worse. So veiling your argument in the fact that I care about people and I want to see them live for many more years on end, when your actions in fact may help cut years off their lives by making an overweight person's condition worse. Dear thin people, this is the equivalent of telling someone who's a smoker, you know, you're increasing your chances of lung cancer. You're increasing your chances of heart disease and all this other stuff. Like, the smoker understands that. Unless you've been living under a rock your entire life and you don't understand that breathing in carcinogens helps decrease your body's likelihood to fight diseases and increase its chances to create diseases or create ailments like cancer and heart disease, etc., etc. They know that too. Would you go up to a smoker and lecture to all them when you see them smoking cigarettes on the side of the street? Does that help you understand better, thin people? Dear thin people, worry more about yourself, because frankly, I was one of these people that used to give the quote-unquote fat harassment under the veil of, I care about these people and I want to see them live for years on end. But through my evolution and understanding of all the facts and knowing that overweight people get it, they know the choices they make are bad. They either have some sort of mental illness, for lack of a better term, an addiction that they can't break, any number of things that is just keeping them from getting over that hurdle. Don't make a terrible fat joke here, ignorant people. Anyways, it's keeping them from getting over that hurdle, and they can't overcome the quote-unquote demon in their life. But you know what? If they can find some sort of happiness and comfort with who they are and the choices they've made in this world, Who are you and I as a thin person to critique them? And I came to that conclusion about a year ago, solidified a bit more when an overweight YouTuber by the name of Boogie2988 made a video that helped finalize my thoughts on this matter. And I get it. I don't look at fat people as dying people. I look at the quote-unquote, and again, I don't mean to reiterate the word fat, but that's the word that the thin critical community likes to give to the overweight community, or obese community, whatever you want to call it. But I got to the point where I now understand. I understand all the complexities to this, and it's not something it's like, oh, I didn't realize that the food I was eating is going to cut years off my life. I didn't realize being inactive and this obese is going to cut back on years on my life. Reiterating those points to overweight people makes the situation worse. Whether you want to say you're doing it out of love and compassion for your fellow man or woman, it makes the situation worse. Don't lecture to overweight people because they understand. They have, like I said, complexities to this that are going to take a lot more to break than just having a thin person tell them that they're doing something that's bad, something that's unhealthy, whatever. Oh, and Nicole, if you want to make a video, dish out a bunch of criticism, and then on the end of the video, make a comment about, saying things like how, oh, the comments here are going to be pretty funny, so feel free to leave a comment below. And by the way, thumbs up my video. If you're going to dish out criticism, then don't block comments on your video. Don't remove the ability to thumbs up or thumbs down your video. Because you know what? That makes it look like you can shovel it out and you can't take it, you sensitive little cunt. So, for future reference, why don't you learn to take criticism instead of removing it altogether? Because you got a lot to give out, and it doesn't look like you can take it back. Anyway, from one thin person to another, Nicole, fuck you. But you're free to your opinion. Have a good day, everyone.